Okay, let's go. So the Eagles just sent a message to the NFC before the playoffs as they utterly dominated the Cowboys to clinch the NFC East in what was one of their best performances of the entire season. And the biggest surprise in this game was that the Birds had not one but two quarterbacks not named Jalen Hurts show out and have impressive performances, as the Birds' passing game looks to be in peak form heading into the playoffs. And so did both the Eagles' defense, who abused Dallas all day, and Saquon Barkley, who made history in this game and possibly has the chance to do something even crazier next week. That being said, he and the rest of the Eagles made it clear that they had their sights set on something much bigger, so we're going to talk about that and everything else from the Eagles' dominant win over the Cowboys starting right now. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And man, what a response that was by this Eagles team after the rough loss that they took last week, especially considering the fact that they didn't have their starting quarterback. But that didn't stop them from pulling off the unexpected and absolutely dominating the Cowboys in all aspects of the game, as the defense had a bounce back performance and shut down the Cowboys offense while taking the ball away 4 times. And for the offense, it was multiple guys who got the job done, as Saquon Barkley had a historic day, DeVonta Smith and AJ Brown both came up big, and a pair of backup quarterbacks stepped up and balled out when they were needed the most. And when it was all said and done, the Eagles had wrapped up the NFC East division title and the 2 seed in the NFC, not to mention the fact that they had swept the Cowboys for the first time since 2011. So it was definitely a great day to be an Eagles fan. And things started off pretty great, as on the very first drive of the game, the Cowboys came up on a 3rd and 3, and CJ Gardner Johnson stepped in front of and intercepted Cooper Rush's pass, which he then was able to return 69 yards for the touchdown to give the Birds an early 7-0 lead. So that was certainly a phenomenal play by CJ, and a very important one at that, as the Cowboys were actually moving on that drive and had gotten themselves into scoring position before the interception put a stop to it. And then Dallas was actually able to come right back down the field on the very next drive and get into the end zone by way of a Cooper Rush touchdown pass to Jalen Tolbert, who went up over the standout rookie Quinyon Mitchell for the score to tie the game. And then on top of that, Kenny Pickett and the Eagles offense got off to a really slow start as they opened up the ball game with 2 straight 3-and-outs. So like I said, that CJ pick 6 was crucial, as it prevented the Cowboys from doing more early damage, and it also got points on the board to compensate for a struggling offense. And after the game, multiple guys made sure to recognize just how important that play from CJ was.
Yeah, that was really big. Got momentum going early, and we didn't start off great on offense. I think we had 2 3-and-outs after that. We had that play that we looked at and did in practice. And Chauncey was right there the same way, and we really talked about that. And then so credit to the coaches for putting him in that position, but all the credit, the most credit goes to the players for making the plays in those scenarios.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. To come and commit turnovers, and great job, man. Made a big time play. They kill driver. The offense thought they was getting going. Their offense thought they was getting going, and boom, took the spirit out of them. Pick 6. They came back out there, got another good drive. Then as we locked in more, game got crazier.
It's definitely a drive stopper, and for him just to come up big in that moment, especially after the week that he had last week, we needed him. We needed him bad, and just him to get his name clear and just to get one in his hands and run it back for a touchdown. Man, come on, man, that's a DB's dream right there. And so for that guy to get that, and just to understand that we always behind him, we always got him. He got our backs, and we got his. We'll do it 10 times over any day of the week.
Again, huge shout out to CJ for being prepared and coming up with this crucial play and just helping the Eagles stay in the ball game early. And then fast forward to the second quarter, and the Eagles offense was finally able to get something going on their 3rd drive, as Kenny Pickett in the passing game got into a rhythm with the help of some tempo and a few quick throws, and an insane one-handed catch by Calcaterra for 34 yards on 3rd down got the Birds into the red zone. And a few plays later, they capitalized, as on 3rd and 12, Kenny Pickett found DeVonta Smith on a corner route for the 22-yard touchdown to put the Birds up 14-7. And this was really just a very well called and executed play, and a great job by Pickett of identifying where the open man was going to be.
Were you looking for him at that specific
Yep. Had 0. He had a corner route. I just felt like I needed to buy a little bit of time to let him get his release and then put it up for him. Great route by him, got his feet in. So, it was a really good, really well executed play.
Both Kenny and DeVonta just deserve a tremendous amount of credit for executing and making this crucial play. However, I think it was Calcaterra who actually made the most important play of the drive, as he turned what was really just a broken play and a toss-up by Pickett into a key 3rd down conversion and a huge gain of 34 yards, which ultimately led to the score. So he also deserves a tremendous amount of credit for that, and also the clear drastic improvement that we've seen from him throughout the season.
I got away from pressure and his scramble drill. As soon as I saw him wheel up the field, I just put it up for him. and he made a hell of a play, man. Grant is a phenomenal player. Doesn't get enough love, I feel like, on this team because there's so much talent. But, been with him since I got in here. We got a lot of reps together early on. He's a special player, great person, so really happy for him.
You love to see Pickett giving Grant his flowers there, and again, huge shout out to him for making this play, and also for stepping up throughout the entire season with just all the injuries to Dallas Goedert, as he has definitely proven himself to be a solid player and a pretty good receiving tight end. But that said, he's obviously just one of many backups who stepped up when given an opportunity in this game, and on the very first play of the Cowboys' next drive, another one of those guys made his presence felt, as linebacker Oren Burks, who was filling in for an injured Nakobe Dean, punched the ball out of the hands of tight end Jake Ferguson, and Jordan Davis recovered, giving the Eagles the ball back in great field position, which ultimately resulted in them being able to put 3 more points on the board with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. So shout out to Burks for making the most of his opportunity and creating that turnover. But it wouldn't be the last turnover that the Eagles defense created in that first half, as on the very next drive, Cooper Rush very unwisely launched a pass deep into triple coverage, and CJ Gardner Johnson came up with his second pick of the day, giving the Eagles offense one more chance to go get points before half. But before we get into that, how about the response by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in this one? After what was really just a crazy situation last week where he pretty much got punched in the face at one point, for him to come back in this game and to have the impact that he did with those 2 interceptions while also keeping a level head was definitely awesome to see.
Yeah, I thought you saw the game today. I thought he responded awesome. We talk a lot about dog mentality, and what dog mentality is putting your learning from your past mistakes, but putting them in the past and being able to focus completely on what you're at right now. I just was really proud of him, of how he responded today and how he played today, and how, I actually saw him breaking up a couple things out there today of some interactions between players.
You get the cards, you get the hand you deal, I think it was a learning lesson. I got to grow the hell up, because this team obviously needs me when I'm here. I ain't saying like in a way as I'm a superstar. No, like my presence, just being out there with the guys and having fun. I think just being out there with them, it hurt me not being out there and seeing them losing when we could have clinched the week before, but I had to look myself in the mirror and understand it's a team game, not a me game. Well, I didn't realize that, but it's just certain aspects at certain points in the game, you gotta understand it's a team game.
It definitely seems like CJ was able to learn from what happened last week, and again, it was definitely awesome to see him bounce back from that with a big performance in this game. And what made his second pick even better is that the offense was able to pay it off, as with under 30 seconds to go in the half, Kenny Pickett launched a deep pass down the field to DeVonta Smith, who caught it for a gain of 49 yards before being brought down just before he could score the touchdown. And then a couple plays later, Kenny Pickett, injured ribs and all, fought through the pain and shoved into the end zone to give the Birds a 24-7 lead at halftime. And honestly, I think this first half just shows you why this Eagles team is so scary. They were able to jump out to this huge lead simply because they were playing some great complementary football, where the defense was obviously dominating and creating turnovers and giving the offense more opportunities to score. And of course, once they got rolling in that second quarter, the offense was able to pay that off. They had a ton of success through the air, and they racked up the points. And again, that is what makes this Eagles team so scary, because they can be great in every facet of the game, and when it's all clicking at the same time, like it was in that second quarter especially, they're basically unstoppable. And nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to see this Eagles team in the playoffs if they're playing like that. And we also got to remember that they were doing this without their starting quarterback in this game, which obviously makes things a lot tougher. That being said though, Kenny Pickett just deserves so much credit for the way he played in this game, and his teammates made sure to give that to him when it was all said and done.
We know Kenny's a baller. He came in and did what he's supposed to do. It was a big game for him. I was happy for him. I wish that touchdown would have counted, because that was a dot, guys. But he did exactly what he needed to do. So he gave us a chance last week to win.
Kenny coming in, we had played really tough last week. He's a competitor. We got hit pretty hard a few times out there, and he's got a lot of grit to him, and he's a fighter. And so, I was impressed with how he conducted himself today.
He exuded confidence, within whatever, just his play calling in the huddle, being very clear, precise on what he wanted, even after the play was done, coming back to the huddle, talking with us and what he was seeing, especially in pass protection or any run checks. So I think Kenny did a bang-up job.
Again, like those guys did, you just got to give Kenny a ton of credit for what he was able to do in this game, as after a slow start, he got into a rhythm, he made some great throws, some big plays, and overall, he finished 10 for 15 on his passes for 143 yards, a touchdown, and a passer rating of 119.6. So again, he definitely stepped up. And what he did is made even more impressive after what Eagles cornerback Darius Slay said after the game.
You know, we expect him to do great things, and he did it tonight and let y'all know that he's still here. And yeah, man, some great throws by Kenny, man. Big time. And then he had broken ribs a little bit. It's even better.
So his ribs were broken throughout the weekend.
I mean, that's what they said. That's what I thought. That's what he said. Yeah, that's what they said to us. They said that I thought I read the same thing y'all read. I said, I don't know how he doing it, but he doing it like that. Kudos to him, because that's tough. Because you get hit with a broken rib. I ain't breaking. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, all I know is like rib injury. Like that boy said, like, man, they hurt. Bro, I said, bro, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Slay said it there, and there were also reports that came out after the game confirming that Pickett was in fact playing through broken ribs all game. So again, that just makes what he did even more impressive, and I think it just goes to show you how tough he is and also how badly he wanted to get the job done for his team in this game. That being said though, as much credit as Kenny does deserve, he's not the only QB who stepped up and made the most of his opportunity in this game. And don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of the season and also the playoffs, then make sure you guys subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage I got coming throughout the rest of the season and during the playoffs. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, then this is the spot. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications, and also drop a like. Let's see if we can get to 800 likes on today's video. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So again, as much credit as Kenny Pickett does deserve for his performance in this ballgame, how about the third stringer Tanner McKee? Or as Jordan Mailata said,
what about the moment missile? What about the moment missile? The secret's out now.
I mean, my goodness, you got a backup in Kenny Pickett who's balling out. Next thing you know, Pickett takes 2 hard late shots to the ribs in the third quarter, and he has to leave the game, unfortunately. So McKee comes in, yet there's no fall off in production offensively, and things may have actually even improved. As on McKee's first full drive, up 27-7, the Birds drove right down the field in large part because of the run game, before Tanner McKee finished it off with an awesome touchdown throw to A.J. Brown that was perfectly placed back shoulder so only A.J. could get it. I mean, what a first drive, and what a first touchdown pass by the second-year quarterback. Now, the funny part about this is that AJ, without realizing, then chucked Tanner's first touchdown ball super far into the stands, so he ended up having to trade his signed game jersey with the fan that had the ball to get it back. So that was definitely cool of him and the fan to make that happen so that they could get Tanner his first touchdown ball. But McKee was not done yet in this game, as he threw yet another touchdown pass on the Birds' next offensive drive, this time going to DeVonta Smith over the middle, who caught it and ran it in for the 25-yard score to put the Birds up 41-7. So, safe to say, this was a special day and a dream come true for Tanner McKee to finally get some real NFL action.
Yeah, it's surreal. Like you said, you grow up dreaming of playing, college football, and then someday in the NFL. And so to actually be able to play in the NFL, play with these guys, throw a touchdown pass, win a game, it is surreal. It's really awesome.
What makes this performance even crazier for McKee is that he actually made NFL history in this one, as he is now the only player since the draft era began in 1936 to throw multiple touchdown passes while having 5 or fewer pass attempts in his NFL debut. So again, McKee definitely deserves a lot of credit for what he was able to do in this game, and Jordan Mailata says that the secret is out on the 2023 6th round pick.
So there was no uncertainty. I think it was good that we got reps with Tanner in, playing up that situation, just knowing Kenny's injury, and so I think it was awesome that it played out like that. And what about the moment in this one, man? This is what we see at practice when he's the reason why our defense plays the way they're playing right now. Moment missile.
Now, McKee wasn't the only one who was able to make history on that last drive for the Eagles, as Saquon Barkley also was able to hit a milestone that he's been working towards all season long, as a 23-yard dash put Barkley over the 2,000 rushing yard mark on the season, making him just the 9th player to do that in the history of the NFL. And while that's cool in itself, one of the other things that was cool was just hearing multiple of the guys after the game, whether it be Lane Johnson or Jordan Mailata or Tanner McKee, talking about how they knew going into that drive that Saquon only needed so many more yards to pass 2,000, and they were really motivated to make that happen for him, and they wanted him to hit that that milestone really badly. Like, I think that just shows the camaraderie and the connection that this team has. And it also works the other way, as after the game, Barkley was asked about what it means to go over 2,000 yards rushing, and he made sure to credit the other guys that made it all possible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, just being a fan of the game and the running back position, to reach a milestone and put myself up there with 8 other backs that I respect, and some of them I grew up watching, definitely means a lot. But at the same time, I wouldn't be able to do that with this team. And like I said, you can't be great without the greatness of others, and I'm just happy I was able to, be a part of the team and be able to reach a milestone like that.
Man, I mean, not only is it special to see Barkley go over 2,000 yards rushing, but also just this team in general and their connection is special, and they have a chance to do something even more special next week, as if Saquon Barkley does play, all he needs is 101 rushing yards against his former team, the New York Giants, who of course let him walk in free agency to break the NFL's all-time single-season rushing yards record. And as Darius Slay said, if he were to do that,
I'm talking about that's a big that's a big you do that on the Giants. That'd be amazing.
Now, whether Barkley will actually have the chance to break the record versus his former team, we'll just have to wait and see. Sirianni said that he's going to be thinking about that and will make that decision soon. Barkley also said that if it's in God's plan for him to break the record, then it'll happen. So I say amen to that, and again, it'll be something that we'll just have to wait and see on. But in the meantime, we can just celebrate the Eagles winning the NFC East and clinching the 2 seed in the NFC playoffs. And I'm telling you, man, nobody wants to see this team come playoff time, especially in the link. I mean, like I said, this game showed you that they can be great in every facet of the game. They can shut you down and turn you over on defense, and then they can turn right around and run it down your throat on offense. And yes, they can pass the ball too, and let's not forget that Jalen Hurts will be back and healthy for the playoffs, who, if you'll remember, was passing the ball extremely well before going out last week. So I think the passing game will be even better when he returns. And man, I mean, I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter who we play in the playoffs. I'm going to be super confident. This Eagles team is scary, and I think they just sent a message to the NFC with this division clinching win over the Cowboys. But like Nick Sirianni said after the game, as much as it feels good to win the division, they are not done yet, and they want way more.
We said together we can do special shit, right? We said together we can do special shit. Rushing for 2,000 yards is special shit. Winning the NFC East. Turning the ball over 4 times again is special shit. But I want a lot more. Think about how special this journey's been so far, right? It can get a lot. We got a lot to be thankful for that. We got a hell of a lot to be thankful for. We are blessed by a ton, all right, in this room. All right, you guys have been blessed with great talents. All right, we got a special team. We want even more now.
Man, I just could not be more excited about this Eagles team right now, but what do you guys think? How confident are you in them going into the playoffs, and what were your thoughts in this division clinching win? Again, you can let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below, and also while you're doing that, again, make sure you guys also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of the season and moving into the playoffs. And also, make sure you drop a like to show some support because it really does help me out a ton. Again, let's see if we can get to 800 likes on this video, and if you want to watch another Eagles video going over some other stuff from earlier in the season, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.